Anybody here from anybody else here from Daxiang at any other time?
Yeah, 6970.
Okay.
Road to the airstrip. We had about a 3,300-foot airstrip there, and so there was some distance there. And the reason I can say that there's nothing left is because Panarelli, I'm having a brain fart on his first name, but Nick Panarella, he was there about 18 or 20 years ago. We went to Vietnam and visited quite a few Special Forces historical sites. And one of the places he got to go was to the camp, or where the camp was. And it's all been, it's all agricultural land now. It's all been cleared. And there's not a stick in the ground that remains from either camp. We blew up the old camp when we moved out of it, so the bad guys couldn't use it.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say that have gone back, and there's just, if anything, just a very, very small remnants of what used to be big camps, and just not a lot there. And they just tore all that stuff down, either, to clear way for, like you said, agriculture use, or just because they didn't want it there.
Yeah, right. Well, most of the camps weren't, like I said, they weren't built substantially enough to they were just, like I said, it was wood and sandbags. So when I say we, the engineers went down there one day with a couple of bulldozers when we've got everything moved out of the old camp, and detonated explosives where they had to in the bunkers, and they just ran through it with bulldozer, plowing it all up and pushing it over, so it couldn't be used by somebody we didn't want using it. And that was the end of that camp, and it was completely overgrown by the time I left. Less than nine months later, it was completely overgrown. So Nick said that the only thing left from any sign at all of the old camp was as the civil affairs officer, he built a duck pond and a fish pond for these guys. I mean, it was several acres. It was a big camp. It was a big pond. We diverted a creek or a stream to fill it, and used a very large quantity of explosives to create the lake bed, if you will. And he said that's still there.
Pond is still there.
It's still there.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, they still use it for fish and ducks.
So why did they move? Why did it take 3 years to move from the old camp to the new? I mean, what was the reason for moving? Why didn't they just reinforce or partially rebuild the original camp?
Well, I think the biggest reason was it was in a better tactical location. It was on the crest of a large hill. As a matter of fact, it's my understanding at one point when they were attacking the original camp, the old location, they came from on that hill or from behind that hill and over the hill. And then when the relief force came in with Charlie Beckwith, I think it was, that helped relieve that camp, mm-hmm. They actually came over the hill and down the road from the top of that hill and fought their way into the camp. But it was a better position. It was a better location. Would have to be the reason, and it straddled the highway as well. Yeah. So it was that would have to be the reason for it.
Yeah, it's just I guess it's just the way the Army works. It took 3 years to do that.
Well, you got to remember all those old camps were built, just local. That was an 8 attachment went out there, 12 guys went out there, and the locals, and they, like I said, they cut logs and filled sandbags and got corrugated sheet metal for roofing wherever they could get it. You've seen the movie where they're scrounging and stealing stuff. A lot of that went on, and when the new camp was being built, there were engineered attachments out there various times that hadn't been worked on in several months when I got there, and that's when the group commander said, "You will have dinner in that camp," and that's when they brought that Straight Leg Engineer Company in there, and they finished it in just a couple of months, and they were still working on it and finishing things up after Christmas. Yeah, after it was probably February, March when they blew up the old camp. So it took that long, even with them there. I mean, that was a couple of hundred guys there working on that new camp with heavy equipment.
Yeah. Steve, when you went back in the 90s, did you go look for the headquarters?
I just go travel around at all.
So you didn't go into Trang or anything like that?
No, just was in Saigon for about a month. Went to Vung Tau, and that's about it. Then why?
Have you heard what's your understanding on what happened? I'm sure it's gone, the old headquarters building in the Trang.
A lot of stuff just got stripped out from materials. I mean, they were stripped out right away. There are pictures in the Trang a couple of months afterward, and it was tumbleweeds going down the main street.
Now, you mentioned the Trang. It's I worked for 41 years for an organization called Cook Medical Manufacturer, and we had a guy working in our marketing department that in must have been about 2010. He did an internship with Hilton Hotels and worked for the 3 or 6 months of his internship in a Hilton hotel in the Trang. So I don't know, Steve, when you were there, if they were starting to build those things, but he showed me photographs and it just looked like any other southern, tropical country with high-rise hotels on the beach. It was pretty impressive. And, you couldn't recognize anything from the photographs from what was there, but that whole area's been developed.
Yeah.
And it's grown up.
What was the name of the little island where you guys did the combat orientation? Entree Island?
Right, Andre Island. Yeah.
So I looked not too long ago. I was looking at a map, and they have a massive 5-star resort on that island now. That you'd never know that was Entree Island from the 60s. It's there's a massive. Maybe that's where a Hilton is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The explosives disposal must have been a real challenge in some of that construction.
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming back from the
People
breakout.
coming back from the breakout rooms here.
Yeah.
How were your visits, Larry?
Good. Yeah,
Well,
good to see everybody.
it's too bad we didn't have even more, because I really had a lot of people that I hit with the emails.
I know you did. Carl Ardley's email address is not correct, so that's why he probably never got the message.
That could well be.
He's the only other guy that was on my team that I knew about, although Roger Rondini evidently was on the team. I don't know if he was there when I left, or he must have been, but I don't remember him.
Okay. I had CD Ardley.
Yep, that didn't work. I
At
emailed him
gmail.com.
earlier today saying that he was going to be on. Good to see that he asked him if he was going to be on this Zoom meeting, and it bounced on me. So I don't know what his email address is now. I did meet with Carl a lot of years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago when he was on the other coast.
Hello? Yes. Yeah, look,
gotta
back
check out.
this evening, because I got a bunch of people on the screen right now. Okay, right, bye.
Well, good job on setting this up. I really appreciate it.
Well, the whole idea is to get as many people as possible, but also you got those names on the email I sent,
Right?
addresses. Now, when I'm finished here, will be, I'll probably open this up tomorrow. But when I'm finished here, I'm going up to I Corps and then down to 3 Corps and 4 Corps. So it's up to you guys to follow up on what I started here.
That'd be great.
And, Zoom is easy to use. It's free. You get a package like this, 40 minutes meetings are free. But if you have just one team, 40 minutes should be enough.
You
Yeah.
bet.
And
Thanks very much for setting it up.
well, you're quite welcome. I enjoyed having you here and hope you'll.
Did you get any
follow
more info on Gary Bykirk, Steve?
I understand he's very ill right now. And that's. as
Yeah,
far as
his
I know.
daughter's been sending me messages.
Mhm.
But there was somebody on the meeting that was at Doc Siang
Yeah.
when he was there.
Both Ed Christensen and Pat Dizine were there at the time. Fred, didn't you come to Doc Siang and take over from Landers?
When he got wounded,
Right.
that's when Major Ramos went in and he busted his leg or something on the way in. A few days later, I went in and took over for that. Yes.
So there were a couple of people who were there during that period of time.
Oh, yeah.
I was on the chopper that took Gary Bykirk out of Doc Siang.
As a matter of fact, I do recall that was in the book, Blaze of Light. I think it had your name in there. I should have.
Yeah, I've been talking to him,
So,
but his daughter says he doesn't take personal phone calls now.
no,
'Cause he's not doing very well.
That's
Well-
too bad.
frankly,
Yeah.
the number of people I found obituaries for in this process is probably shouldn't be that all surprising, since I think about the youngest person in Vietnam that served in special forces is at least 75 years old right now.
Well, I'm 72 and I served.
Oh, 72. How about you? You're a youngster.
Oh, look at
There you go.
that. They make those decisions.
I wasn't allowed to drink the 3.2 beer in the camp. The fall staff.
A lot of those medics that, Gary Rose, Bykirk, they were all out of that same time period. We were all in training group together and, ran through our medical training together. And another name that comes out of that group is Lou Merletti, who served in Vietnam in 2 different camps and then went on to was ultimately the director of the Secret Service under Clinton. He's
Wow.
retired and lives down in Florida now, down somewhere in the Gulf Coast, the southern Gulf Coast of Florida. So there's a bunch of medics there that were active and, various.
Yeah.
Oh, and another one came out of that was a guy named Ashley, who was at Ben Het in, what was that, about July of '69 when all that blew up. Guy named Ashley, not to be confused with a Eugene Ashley that was involved, a posthumous Medal of Honor winner.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was another guy named Ashley, younger, another medic. And I don't remember if he got a Silver Star out of, from Ben Het, but he was wounded and evacuated. But that would have been June or July of '69.
Yeah, I was in Plagerang until right after the invasion of Cambodia when the 4th Division came in.
Right.
Set down at the bottom of our hill. And then soon after that, they sent me to Duco. They said there was no weapons left at Duco. So I went from the top of the hill down into the red mud.
I know about the red mud.
Yeah, I remember a lot of
I
red
was
out
in
of play me
Duco- I was in
too. so-
Duco for a while myself.
Yeah, that was different right there on Route 19. Couldn't believe it was right on the road.
In fact, I'm trying to get to Duco's breakout room and I'm having the same problem I had getting to Doc Peck.
What's your problem with breakout rooms?
Yeah, I'm trying to get into Duco, but I'm having the same problem I had getting to Doc Peck.
Okay, I'll put
Do me a
you.
favor.
I don't know how many people are left in Duco though.
Two.
Two? Okay.
Yeah, I just checked.
No, Bob,
I know
no,
that,
Bob just left, so there's only one.
Yeah.
Gary is the only one there.
and Doug Gritzinger came back to the
Okay.
front too. I remember back in Duco, we would sit in the team house and Doug Gritzinger would come in and says, okay, who's going with me to pull the med cap at the village? So the captain would say, okay, Hill, it's your turn. And we would go down there. And I remember this just like it was yesterday, that we had the leprosy little village next to the main village.
Hmm,
And it was just like biblical times. They kept them separated.
Sure.
And the team captain, or actually the chief medic says, well, we got to go over there. And if they offer to make food for us, we got to sit and eat with them because they could be VC like everybody else. So when we'd pull a med cap, which was quite often, we'd go down there and take care of the main village,
Wow.
which was different. But my job was to, Gritzinger pulled one when the day we were giving shots out on payday. He had me give the shots and Doug was checking the weapons numbers and stuff, and he was putting their fingers in indelible ink to
Yeah.
show that they got paid and checked. And they knew I wasn't boxy, and they were kind of cringing because they knew I was the weapons man. But Doug was pretty good at keeping us up to par with the medical stuff. He was real good at that.
Fred, you're back again. I sent you off. Nobody
What's that?
there? Fred's back again. I sent him off to
Yeah, there
Duco.
wasn't anybody there.
Hey, nobody there, yeah.
Well, you managed to get back. You didn't figure out how to get there, but you got back.
I can get back. I just can't get there.
Steve, are we gonna do this again and not 50 years later?
You're gonna have to work with the other people on the emails that you got and arrange to do it yourself. I've got the next year and a half. I figure it's gonna take me to go through all the rest of the teams in the country.
Wow.
Next week, I'll go to I-Corps. I've done B-22, B-23, this is B-24 this week.
Okay,
Then I go up to I-Corps. But I gave everybody, when I sent you the email, I sent you all the email addresses that I had for your team.
all
So
right.
It's on your email and it's really up to you to do what you can with it. You're welcome to call me up for any advice or help that you want. You know, but it's really not a big deal to host this kind of a thing. You don't want, it doesn't cost anything for 40 minutes. And if
Okay.
you only have one team at a time, then it should be pretty easy, but it's something that I would recommend you consider doing every month, you know,
Yeah,
once a month or something.
yeah, we better because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out how to buy some PIRs.
There are PIRs out there, but they are left over from 50 years ago. And
It
I might
be
start
for
a company.
display purposes only. I wouldn't try to crack into one.
in 1990, I had a film festival here in Houston, and we had a sea ration cook-off. And after I started looking at the cans that I had that were bulging at the sides,
Yeah.
we just went out and bought cans of equivalent food and let them use that for the cook-off. I didn't want to have all these guys dying on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the backpackers, though, somebody in this group should start manufacturing PIRs. They were so simple
Well,
and you don't
unfortunately,
see any.
Ben Baker passed away last year, I think it was. Ben was at CISO in Okinawa. He's the guy who made the PIR.
Yeah, all that stuff came from Okinawa.
And he did the first ones on his own stove there, just
Wow.
getting it all set up. But
Yeah,
he was-
if you guys should ever get so bored, head over to YouTube and there's a guy, I think his name is Steve MRE or something like that. And he takes old sea rats and all kinds of things from World War II, and he actually tears into those and tastes them and eats them. I'm talking about sea rations from 1964, some World War II survival ration
How do you
tins.
close this damn thing?
He's a nutcase, but he'll tear into them.
Get rid of that.
As long
Yeah.
as he's not eating the fruitcakes from the sea rats.
Yeah.
Ham and lima beans, I like those, but a lot of
My
people
name
didn't like
isn't
them.
Oh, I couldn't stand ham and lime as
So
much.
why is user here?
All right,
We didn't call them that, we called them
who I
something
got
else.
here? Who's
Steve
just come in
Sherman.
here?
Damn, Steve, you got old.
Who's this right here?
Let's see.
Who are you?
How's this shit work? Stop video.
Well, we can hear you, so it's working some.
Yeah, just say your name.
Host distributed participants.
What is your, what's your, Carl, which Carl are you?
My Stephen Sherman. Joe DeSanto.
He must be muted.
No, he's just not paying attention.
Donna, you're not helping me at all. Stop
I'm
video.
trying to.
No, over here.
No, this has to be.
Oh, okay.
Carl, what's your name?
What the hell are you doing?
Oh, there he is. Carl what? I see Carl.
Well, I put the
Bring
Carl.
up a device.
Oh, okay.
Carl, now can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what's your name?
Remar, I don't see how this damn thing. Somebody put Carl up there.
I did.
What are you doing? You gonna give me a new handle or something?
Give me your correct name and I'll put it up there.
Remar, Joe Remar. Oh, you put the stuff up there. Yeah, okay. I don't know how this damn stuff works. It doesn't work.
Well, that's because you weren't here yesterday.
No.
That was a practice session.
Yeah, I'm practiced out, buddy. Let me tell you. No more practicing for me.
Well, have your assistant over there help you look out underneath your name and you'll see the word.
Okay, here we go. What's that? That square? Yeah. Uh-oh.
It says breakout rooms. More.
All right, brown breakout room. So
Can you find that? Can you see breakout rooms?
maybe it's on the bottom. Let me see the bottom here.
It's on the bottom under more, probably.
Steve, sometimes that toolbar will disappear until I move the cursor
Under
around.
more,
on the
see,
screen.
task, see. Launch a meeting. No, we did that. We got
No,
that.
on the black area, on the bottom under the pictures, it should have the word on the left-hand side, mute, stop video.
Breakout room.
You see, had more over on the right-hand side with 3 dots. And if you click on that, you see breakout rooms.
3 dots. Okay, I'm gonna put my assistant on here. She's
Good.
a hell of a lot better at this than I am here.
On the bottom of the screen,
Breakout.
Oh, there he is. He's going.
on the
Hello.
bottom of the screen, you have a whole bunch of icons. On the left is a microphone, and on the right, it says end.
An N?
End.
Okay.
A microphone on the bottom. Stop
see the-
video, participants. Move over to the right, and it says more.
It's
Well, she might be folding clothes down there.
Right? Do you see the word more down there? Do you see the
No.
icons at the bottom of the screen?
I see something that looks like a mic
All right, that's on the left, right?
on the right.
No, I'll check
Okay,
my-
on the right of my screen, it's way over there. Okay, it's way on the right. So I'm not sure.
You, right next to it, is there a camera? Picture, a picture of a camera.
Yeah, right here. I think that's does that say, it says meet now when you go over it?
No. The first one says mute. The second one says video, stop video. Third one says security.
No, I don't see
All right,
any of that.
Put your cursor underneath the pictures in the black area.
Okay, this one says up to date. Zoom meeting is using your microphone.
Are you on a Macintosh or an Apple product of some kind, or are you on a PC?
I'm on a a personal computer, a PC. It's just a,
Yeah.
But with the bill.
HP probably.
yeah, I believe it is.
Rick and I must be on HPs.
Okay, well, you have any advice? Because I've exhausted my possibilities.
I'm on a Dell, but you know, it's Windows 11.
It should all be the same.
Yeah.
Down at the bottom of the screen, you should have a bunch of icons,
So, you know.
little pictures.
I do. I mean, I've got things that say, you know, like my mail and then Amazon and Word products. And,
No, above that, in the
Above
black
that.
area.
oh, okay. All of a sudden it says participants, chat.
Yes,
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
okay. Share
Okay.
screen, record, breakout rooms.
okay, click on breakout room.
Okay. Now what?
Now you have all those different rooms. And all he
Yes.
has to do is say, join, click on the room he wants to join and say, join.
Oh, he wants to join 242 Deck Pack,
Doc Peck.
Doc Pack, whatever. Okay, so do I just hit join?
Just click Doc Peck and say, join.
All right.
See,
Rick,
when I
is
click
somebody
on-
there?
When I click on the breakout room like you told her, all I get is the Duco comes up. It don't offer all the other rooms.
Well, she just disappeared, so she's doing better than you are.
Not that.
It's gone the other way.
Look, anybody who wants help getting there, tell me, I'll just move them
Shoot
out.
me back to Doc Peck.
Take you back to Doc Peck. Okay.
Yeah, how do I get a pile of Bata boots?
Uh,
When they would speed pallet them things off 123s at Duco, big black pile of Bata boots, the whole team had to go out and bring him into the yards. But you don't hear about them things anymore.
No.
Anybody been down to Ashboro for the,
Yes, very good things going on there. Fred wants to go to Doc Peck, right?
Well, he went somewhere. There he is.
I said, you're the one that's next in line.
Now, I don't know why I can't have him join it.
Hey, Steve, I gotta go to a meeting at A241 Polyclang. The intel sergeant for the time I was there was a Staff Sergeant Comerford, Commerfort or D, and you don't have anybody listed there.
Comerford.
Comerford,
Steve Comerford.
yep.
What team was he on?
Say again?
What team was he on?
A241.
241. Okay.
He was the guy that was responsible for the infamous carrier pigeon program.
that's funny.
Was this supposed to be communicating from the field back to the camp? Was that the
Yep.
plan?
I worked wonderfully. We put in a request to B-24 and said, we want to try this. And lo and behold, the C-130 arrived a month later with 24 pigeons on it. And Comerford built, he just busted his ass. He built pigeon coops and so on. And he'd take a pigeon out every day to the end of the runway and it would fly back into the coop and it worked just great. And he finally came in and said, okay, I'm ready to try this. And I've got a Montagnard that I think is going to be good at it. And he brought an old guy in literally in a loincloth from the village. And he had a Claymore bag over his shoulder and Comerford and I can't, Steve, I guess, put the carrier pigeon in the bag and told him, okay, now look, you go out X many kilometers to Playtrap Valley, which was way the hell and gone and way out of artillery range. And when you see lots of bad guys, you put on a red Schmartnick on his ankle. If you see a few bad guys, you put a yellow one on. If you see no bad guys, you put a green one on. And the Montagnard, through a number of interpreters, figured this out. And he took off and he came back about a month later and went right down the village. And Comerford jumped in a Jeep and ran down there and said, "Where's the pigeon? What'd you do with the pigeon?" And the guy said, "Oh, number one chop chop."
Oh, I can
That's
see
right.
that.
I swear to God, that's the truth.
Oh, I believe it. I
He-
believe it.
He ate the pigeon. And
We had our civil affairs guy, I think it was before, who did we just talk about, Steve? Steve, our CA guy.
Nick Panarella.
Yeah, but I think it predated Nick Panarella. And it was just about the time I was getting here, might have even been a week or two before they got for Play Me this 4-H blue ribbon winning breeding sow. She was going to make baby pigs for, all of Two-Core. Well, she wasn't there a week when they ate her. And,
good barbecue.
well, I guess, but oh man, you want to see some pissed off, pissed off detachment commander and civil affairs guy.
Clay, when was Comerford at the camp?
Say again?
When was Comerford at the camp?
I'm pretty sure he was there when I got there, and I got there on middle of May of 68, and he was there when I left in September of 68.
And his job was intel sergeant?
Yeah,
Team sergeant.
no, he was intel sergeant. I don't remember what the team sergeant's name. I keep thinking Fritz Manuel, but I think he was my team sergeant in Okinawa. I just don't remember.
Okay. Well, he got promoted to master sergeant the next year.
Say again?
He got promoted to the master sergeant by 1969.
Well, the team sergeant, whatever his name was, went from Polly Klang when his tour was up. He volunteered for SOG, and I was told was killed on a helicopter. North Vietnamese hit him with an AK-47. It was just a fluke incident, and he was killed with CCN, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, let me take a look here at the team sergeant.
Mosier, Clyde Mosier, that's it.
Yeah, he was deceased, but he didn't die from something at CCN. He wasn't killed.
Okay, what are your abbreviations for over here?
Deceased is deceased.
Okay,
Okay.
what's the Y, the Yankee?
Y means yes, I know where he is. YE means I know where he is, have an email. The period means I've talked to him recently. He doesn't have an email.
Okay,
YE, I talked to him recently, but he does have an email.
okay,
AOY, I think I know where he is, but he doesn't answer any phone. And you can see there's no intel sergeant over here for that whole period of time, so.
okay. Now, what did you have for Clyde Mosier? Did you have he was deceased at CCN?
No, he's just deceased.
Okay.
He didn't die at CCN.
Did you have him at one of the CNC detachments?
All right, hold on. Sure. He died in 89, so he certainly didn't die there.
Oh, okay.
He was born in 1924,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, he was considerably older than I was.
Okay. And MOSHDRC 41. So I have no indication that he went to CCN. It looks like he spent more than a year as team sergeant here.
More than a year where?
As team sergeant, I don't think so. Yeah, because that's wrong. I don't know where he went after he left the
Yeah,
camp. But yeah,
okay, but Comerford is your intel guy.
yeah, okay. Well, I will.
Okay, Steve, I gotta run. Thank you for setting this up today. Enjoyed it.
Right. Well, now the thing is, you guys have to follow up. I'm going up to do camps in I-Corps. You got a list in your email that has all the other people's names on from your camp. And you can follow it up, set up your own Zoom meeting. It's
I got a
free.
list. Where's that list with the email?
When I sent you the email, in all the other two.
Oh, okay. I got it.
All you need to do is just forward that list.
Yep.
Reply to all and you'll get everybody there.
Okay. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, take
All
care.
right, I'm
Take
out
care.
of here too, Steve. Happy holidays. Have a safe one and thank you for everything you've done. It's nice to see some fellow team members.
Good.
And if you could find out what happened to Sergeant Ancho, and then we ended up with Boo Alford, you know, at the C team in Pleiku. I don't even know what happened to Boo Alford. I would see him at the conventions at Bragg.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to him. He really was somebody else.
And then Sergeant Ancho,
Ancho died in 03.
okay,
Okay, and
he was a pretty tough guy.
Raymond Ancho, he was a triple CIB recipient, I believe.
Or I'll tell you, he was a tough guy.
Okay, now, Boo Alford, he wrote a lot of little pamphlets. And he described himself as an Afro-Saxon. The only Republican in South Carolina or something like that.
Yeah, I know. That's what he would tell us at the convention. But he wouldn't let me go to 2 Corps Mike Force. And then I ended up hitting that landmine. I passed the Oasis fire base there to go to play me. I was on the road for 2 minutes and I hit that anti-tank mine and spent two months in evac hospital, 71st and 87th. And I came back and Boo still wouldn't let me go across the street to Mike Force. And he ended up sending me to play Jurang after after going into Dox Yang.
Well, you never know what's going to happen to you. You know, people survive World War II or Vietnam and come back and get stung by bees.
Yeah, that's right. So Ancho passed away in 2003, huh?
Yep.
He got in trouble because we were by the swimming pool at the C team. An officer walked out of the officers club and he threw him right in the swimming pool.
He's really
So they were. So he's a pretty tough guy. He didn't listen to, well, he listened to quite a few guys. He's a real nice guy. Okay, I'm out of here, gentlemen. Happy holidays.
Take care, Bob.
Same to you.
All right.
Steve, I got a question for you.
Oh,
In your notes on these name assignments and such, I'm looking for James B. Jones. I used to call him Jonesy. It's his code over there is YZ. What's the Zulu stand for?
Zulu is a really bad thing.
It means he's stuck in the 20th century and doesn't have any communication except U.S. Postal Service, right?
No. It's John Jones, right?
James B. Jones.
James B. In Thomasville, Georgia.
Roger.
I called him up and he said, I don't want to talk to anybody. Fuck you. He didn't say
Interesting.
fuck you.
Interesting.
But the Z, whenever that appears, I just leave him alone.
Okay. All right.
Now,
Well, I've
if-
probably
if-
been 6 months since I've talked to him.
If you want to harass him, I'll give you a phone number.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Well, when I called him up, he wasn't interested at all
Wow. How long ago was that?
within the last 2 months.
Really? That recently? That's been since I talked to him.
Oh, because I'm trying for this year. There aren't many people within the association that have done that to me. They're listed on the website with a Z, probably maybe 5.
Wow.
And
Well, he's told me he was going to join the association and never did, never got around to it. He's kind of a strange duck. He sits up there, he doesn't get online, doesn't do anything. He has no email. the only way I communicate with him is US Postal Service and an occasional phone call, and that's probably once or twice a year.
Well, I had one guy whose first reaction his wife answered the phone, and I told him who I was, and I wanted to talk to him. And she says something to him in the background. She doesn't want to talk to you. Goodbye. Okay. About 5 minutes later, I get a call from this guy. Nice as he could be. I guess he checked with somebody who the hell I was.
Yeah.
So that changed. But first reaction is, I don't want to talk. So I actually, considering how bad things are today with the calls people get, I'm not really surprised.
Yeah, I'm not surprised you don't have more of those. Yeah, you're right.
So, there's no way around it. I just do the best I can.
Well, I used to get cranky on a phone like that, but I've had to temper my approach because I found it to be, I had to make too many apologies and amends to people trying to make legitimate calls. And so I start out at least neutral, for lack of a better term, until I find out that it really is some kind of crank deal or bogus deal, and then my attitude can change. But
I have
to be a little bit more careful. Let's put it that way.
I listen to most people who come on the phone. I listen to them to find out, if they're doing medical stuff, selling Medicaid plans or
Oh,
whatever.
Medicare. Oh, God damn. Yeah, that's a
They
bitch.
say, how are you today? And I say, I'm really very well. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
And then the car things, that's just a hang up.
Oh, well, those are all recordings anyway.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the ones that bother me are the guys who say, your credit card has been, tampered with or being used. You got to press 1 to talk to somebody. So you press 1 and you talk to this guy. You have this guy on the line and say, I want your callback number. First thing, I want your callback number. He either hangs up on you or he says, first, give me your credit card number. No, you give me your callback number.
Oh, they're sitting in a sweatshop in Mumbai doing that stuff.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. Yeah. So Steve, I talked to that guy Metz last week. So I had a question I wanted to ask somebody who was with the 46 in Thailand. I wanted to ask a question. Steve says, I've got a guy nice guy, give him a call. So I really don't like cold calling like that. And then, so I cold called the guy, told him who I was. He's the nicest guy in the world. And he said, hey, he said, I really enjoy talking history. It sounds like, that you like history. He says, can I call you every now and then and just talk some history? I said, yeah, give me a call. Yeah, give me a holler. But he was a really nice guy. And he asked a few questions to make sure I was who I said I was. But yeah, I think, my dad's the same way. My dad's 82 years old. And he says, man, he gets phone calls like you wouldn't believe, Medicare and just all kinds of things. And it gets to the point where he didn't want to answer his phone anymore.
Well, hell, I'll tell you what, if I didn't get spam email, I wouldn't get any email at all.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I know.
So,
I know.
Anyway. Steve, I'm going to slip out of here.
Okay.
And, that was a big fat zero from Play Me. And the list is fairly complete. But if you ever hear from anybody that was there, especially in my time period, talked to a couple of guys there that were certainly familiar with things today, and that was interesting. But if you ever get a hit on somebody that's
all those people were from Play Me. I had a whole shitload of people from Play Me.
well, your list is fairly complete. There's only a couple of holes in there.
No, I'm talking about the people on your email, the email list you got.
Yeah.
I had
Well, the only one I recognized was Twitchell, and he was a radio guy that probably got off the helicopter that I got on to leave.
Yeah, well, the setting the timing to fit, that was hard for you because you were one of the last people there.
Yeah.
But, play
Well, the
music.
thing was, I got in country in the middle of September, and I probably got out there, and by the time we finished over in Entree Island and stuff like that, got up to play coup. It could have even been after the 1st of October that I showed up out there. And it seems to me that it was and I even left there for a short period of time. I spent 2 nights in Polyclang while a guy went on R&R, a medic went on R&R. And then I spent about 10 days in the woods with a company from the Pleiku Mike Force, because they needed a medic. And, none of that, all that was just off. There's no records of any of that stuff. And then I must have 48 hours after I left Play Me, I was on an airplane, going to Seattle, going to Fort Lewis. And then less than 24 hours after a touchdown, I was discharged or released from active duty, and then picked up the guard 2 months later, picked up 20th group in the guard 2 months later. And that's another story. That was just dumbass luck that I stumbled into that deal.
Well, there's a lot of people who are on the email that you got. They may not be the time you were there, but I know the status column on the list should tell you, basically who was around. I told you the guy who was there as the other medic with you.
That
was
was
a nurse.
Stevens, yeah.
But I
I
can't.
got a photograph
can't
of
find
him. I got a picture of him around here somewhere. I'll have to.
But I don't have the time to spend to go beyond what I do to look for people.
Yeah, I understand that.
But
I see what you're saying.
for instance, I had one guy who was a PA in Washington State, and one of the doctors who was on the session for B-23 really wanted to get him involved, and I had no contact information for him. So I called up the PA Association in Washington State, and I just asked them, if you know this guy, can you get a message to him? And some very nice lady from that PA thing did that, sent me a message, says he will call you. Turns out he was PA license number 1 in Washington State. So he was pretty well known. But the fact is that there are professional associations, other things. He was an FNRP or whatever the hell they are, family practice registered nurse.
Yeah.
And if there's an association, he's retired. But they may still be able to help you locate him. That was William C. Stevens.
Yeah.
And he was last seen in a place called Rio Del in California.
Wow.
And he is an FNPC, or was. So. Anyway, the same thing holds for other people. The only one I can't bring back are the ones that says deceased.
Right. Yeah, I noticed our detachment commander, Harold Palmer, I noticed he's listed as being deceased. There were a couple of others too. Anyway, hey, I'm going to slip out of here, and so good luck with your other core areas. How's that?
Yeah. I got to figure out how to do this thing so it operates more smoothly. I try to get people to come yesterday to learn all the things, know how to do breakout rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody feels they knew how to do it, so they get here.
Well, it's easy enough. I mean, Zoom is easy enough, and the thing that I've noticed too is even I started out on my iPad and I just switched over to the PC because it's easier. But you talk about the toolbar at the bottom that has the mute and the participants and all that stuff. that doesn't always show at the bottom. If you
Yeah.
don't have your cursor on the black part of the screen, you don't see that toolbar.
Right. That's why I said under your picture in the black part of the screen, put your
Yeah.
cursor there.
Well, yeah.
But still, it's a little bit to teach people, and it's repetitious to teach people while there's 20 other people out there waiting for you.
I know exactly how you feel.
So,
All right.
all right,
Well-
take care.
You too. We'll see you when I see you.
Hey, Rick,
Good meeting you, Joe. Take
you
care.
too. Take care.
I don't know how many people are still around in the breakout rooms.
Well, I can't get to the damn breakout rooms, man. It's that thing's not down here. I've got everything down here that you tell me that's down here. Participants, chat, record, all that. And that last button's not there.
Let me look here. There's a whole bunch of people at Doc Peck. And other than that, there's still people at Doc Siang. And Gary is sit there at Duco all by himself. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know why that is not showing up for me.
No. Okay. So you're on a PC.
Yeah.
You got mute, stop video security, participants, share screen, reactions,
Yeah.
apps.
No, I don't have apps.
What's after reactions?
Nothing.
Can you expand it? On the top right of your screen, maximize the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, I just did. Still nothing.
Maximize and nothing's there.
Mm-mm.
So after reactions, you haven't got anything.
Nope.
Dave, are you going to show us a magic trick?
What?
Are you going to show us a magic trick?
No magic.
How you produce 100 piastre notes from one piastre note, huh?
So this worked out pretty good, huh?
Well, we could have had a lot more people here. You
Yeah.
saw the email that I sent you.
Right,
On the top of it were all the names of people who I had emails for.
right. There's about 50 of them, yeah.
So obviously they all didn't show up.
Yeah.
Which was both good and bad because I really have a limit of about 100 people I could do on this.
Yeah,
I intentionally did not pay any extra money to have the ability to have more than 100 people. Because I thought the reverse psychology would work. If I didn't pay the money, they'd show up.
yeah,
But yes, it didn't work out that way. But really, everybody who got the email has got that list that you have,
yeah,
names. And by just saying reply to all, you can send a message to everybody there.
yeah. Okay,
You can go ahead and do your own Zoom meeting. It's free for 20 minutes or 40 minutes. I really recommend that you consider doing a monthly meeting of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not enough of us left around that we can afford to miss the opportunity.
no, I know. I was just talking to Pat Dezine in the 245 room, yeah. So it was interesting, yeah, very interesting. So.
Joe, you want to mute your microphone whenever you do that.
What?
Joe has got a fan going or something.
That's a freaking lawn guy.
Well, mute your microphone. There you go.
Well, Steve, I got to sign off. So
Okay.
Thanks a bunch. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you came by.
Yep.
Good seeing you.
We'll talk to you.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Hmm. That really is strange.
So you see my mic, stop video,
Yeah, I see it all.
security, that's it. Nothing after reactions.
That's weird. I don't know.
My wife does this a lot. I'm going to get her up here in a little bit. See if she can
I
figure
can't,
something out. Maybe it's something in my settings or,
I can't imagine because all you have to do is click on it and you get there. It really shouldn't be anything out there. Sometimes it's hiding in a different place,
yeah.
but it shouldn't actually
Yeah.
affect your listings, affect your screen. The only thing that I've seen is that people have a Macintosh or something else, an iPad, but that's not your problem.
No.
What you could do is go to zoom.us
Mhm.
and support. And if they don't have a video to give you an answer, you can leave a message and sometimes you get answered. I'm surprised at how well they do respond. When I started out here, before I started paying them money, I kept saying, this is really good, but if you only did this, it would be even better. And they'd respond and say, well, if you do this, you get that. So breakout rooms and all these things, they've got little videos for. And everything that I have thought of, practically everything, is already built into this system.
Okay. Well, let me do that and see if I can come back to you.
Okay.
I'll see. So if nobody is here, then when you launch Zoom, then I mean that obviously nobody's here. I mean it won't launch.
No, until I leave, this stays open. But
Okay.
if you're gone and I'm here by myself, I'm going to go to the breakout rooms and see who's there. So you
Okay.
can come here and I won't be there. And then you might send a message to me. I don't know
Okay.
if you can because I'm not listed.
Okay. Let me see what I can do.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's so funny.
Everybody
so
else
funny
has gone
because-
away, so I came back here and joined you.
Okay. I got lots of pictures of Joe. I got pictures of McAvoy. Johnny Hollis. Did any of y'all know Johnny was of course he's the biggest character.
Johnny Hollis or John Hollis?
Johnny Hollis, yeah.
Yeah.
He had every badge. I mean, he was a medal hunter, and he'd been in Laos and all this other stuff. And I mean, he had every time he went out, he wanted to get another. I remember he came back. He had a little nick in his hand. I was trying to get another Purple Heart.
Shit.
And Pickles told him, "You've had enough." No. Anyway, he thought it was
Joe ended up, or John Hollis ended up in
Mike Force.
John Hollis ended up in Angeles City, Philippines. Had a bar there. I went over there a couple of times while he was still alive.
Well, he left Doc Peck and went to the Mike Force when they formed the Kontum Mike Force. He was one of the initial guys in that.
Well, I got him back. I got him back to Doc Peck later on, and between him and Joe Howard, they kept me busy cleaning up their screwed with the LLDB.
Well, they did that, but those two guys were two of the better combat guys.
Oh yes,
you know that I ever served with there, and they taught me a lot. When I got there, the first 2 or 3 missions I went on was either Joe or Johnny,
Yeah,
and then
I always
McAvoy and I went out with a couple. But
I
That's so
always
funny.
wanted
I'm gonna
Joe.
tell McAvoy that the dog was still around at the end of '68. So, you know,
And Joe, the story with Joe and me is, we were coming in, we remained overnight at that village just outside Doc Peck. And
which one?
it is the
Go.
closest one. I can't remember the name of it.
Dak Jiao Kong.
Gosh,
I couldn't remember the name of those villages to save my life. You know,
we remained overnight. I had a M1 with a Starlight scope on it.
yeah.
And they left it with the village chief for us when we came in. Well, about 11 o'clock at night, they came around there to wake me up, said, hey, said, Daiwi, VC. And so I said, okay, so Joe was down there by that time. And I said, you get them on the line, get the artillery ready to come in. And tell our interpreter told him, said, when he fires that M1, it's got a tracer round in it. He's going to fire it towards the location that he sees the enemy. And so I fired the round, and then all hell turned loose. And I'm standing up there on the berm playing John Wayne with the Car 15, just throwing it out there. Joe said, sir, get your ass down here. I said, don't worry, Joe, they're not shooting back. Said, get your ass back. And he reached up and pulled me down in the trench, and the Montagnard that pulled right in where I was standing, got a round right through his cheek of his rear. And I looked at him, I said, Joe, you saved my ass on that one.
Saved your ass. That's good. Well, I'll tell you a story that maybe y'all didn't realize it. You remember the 50 calibers we had? We had one. We had one outside the team house there, up on top of a bunker.
Yeah.
And it seems like we had another one further down, and then there were some over on another hill. Well, if you looked out across the river, you know, there was this big hill with an outpost up on top of it.
Yeah.
Well, to the right, there were two villages way out there, kind of up the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
Well, that was the district headquarters, I think.
Well, no, these were just, I mean, little villages surrounded by fences and everything. They were up on the side of the mountain, but way over there. Well, one morning, everybody's sitting around and some people started attacking, local guys started attacking one of those villages. Well, we ran out there and we got that 50. I didn't realize that. It was about 3 miles across, 2 miles across the valley, two or three clicks anyway.
Yeah.
And we opened up that 50 and the tracers were they were going into the crew that was trying to come down the mountain after that. And then all the other 50s started reaching out for them too. And that attack stopped pretty quick. You know, I imagine a 50 caliber round going through those trees there sounded pretty ferocious.
You know that
I didn't believe how far it could.
That 50 that you're talking about. I was there when we built that concrete shithouse, and we threatened to put that 50 in there because it had a northern field of fire to it. Put it out the back. They joked about that for years. That old damn shithouse.
Yeah, that 50 caliber. Joe Dietrich was the commander that I took over from when he derosted. And Joe got up there one night, was firing that thing, and somebody had sabotaged the headspace on it. And the glass blew back and got him right in the dick and balls.
Holy shit.
And of course, they couldn't x-ray it where the location was when he went to play coup. So they sent him back. And he was having to go home with that brass in there. And he says, how am I going to explain this to my wife?
I didn't know Joe had a wife. I'm not sure if he had that at 66.
That is Joe Dietrich.
Oh, Dietrich. Yeah.
He was a
I don't think Howard was married.
No, Howard wasn't. No, he was nothing. He was just a wild man.
Yeah.
He just
yeah,
John Hollis, I was always
have to go try to get the LLDB back, calm back down, the IWE commander there.
He just liked to
Always
cause
late.
trouble. Johnny was he just was a troublemaker, and he had been allowed.
Yeah.
He'd been all over.
All right. Where do you want to go to?
I went to Polly Klang and I went to Mangbuk. There's nobody there, Steve. Where are you at?
Everybody's got home. I'm over here in,
Just a minute. Let me turn my volume up. Can't hear you.
let's see, where was that? Doc
All
Peck.
right.
I was
You're
Doc
Doc,
Peck.
yeah, I saw you at Doc Peck. There's nobody at A241 or A246. That's too bad.
Everybody's already gone home, I think,
You've gone home already?
except Doc Peck has got a lot of people there.
So there were people at those other two sites?
Oh, yeah, there were,
Okay. Oh, well,
but.
I missed it. Huh?
After there's nobody there, they went home. I don't know what happened to this guy. It looks like there's one guy, Gary Reister, at Duco, all by himself. I
Yeah.
don't know how long he's been there and what he's been doing.
Okay. Well, thanks for setting this up. All right.
All right, well, sorry you didn't get with
That's
the
okay.
people there.
Had to go see the doctor. All right.
That's what happens. Okay, take
Yep.
care.
You too, bud. Bye.
Look, you've got the email addresses on the email I sent you that has everybody else's email on your team.
I don't think I've got that.
You did. That's why you got here. Are you still there? You disappeared. Um, let's see. I'll get out of this breakout room. I don't know, but I don't know that you can hear me. So anyway.
And everything. And Joe said, I said, I ain't coming out. So he set out, I think they wanted Mike Force to join us because it was a good op, just mostly recon, but we were finding stuff left and right. And he said, you're deer roast and we can't let you get you X'd out there. Hell, the goddamn, your family will sue us. So yeah, Howard, he was something. He was something else. But I sure would like to have a time to chat with old Doc Phillips.
Well, you know that there's a Doc Peck reunion every once in a while. Kansas
Yeah, I heard
City,
about it.
Colorado.
It's in where?
Canyon City, Colorado.
Oh, that's Ben Dell's place.
Yeah, that's Ben Dale's.
Yeah, Canyon City. Now, I was told the SFA next year will be in Colorado Springs.
That's right.
Oh, good.
Well, I've got two daughters who live there, so I might try to make that one.
Don't have much of an excuse not to.
No.
Can't think of a reason not to go.
Yeah. Colorado Springs is a nice town, man. It's real sweet town there.
I starved to death there one summer.
Is that right?
Old boy called, says, come on up here. They're building the Air Force Academy and they're paying $3 an hour. We packed our bag and went there. Yeah, you could get that, but you had to pay the union $50. Hell, we didn't have $30 among the three of us.
Yeah, that's about the truth.
Now, somebody tell me where all the groups went. The first, where'd they go when they left Okinawa?
Fort Lewis, Washington.
Yeah.
Where'd the 10th go? I think
Fort Carson, Colorado.
Kent went to
Colorado
Massachusetts somewhere.
Springs up there, I think.
Fort Carson, Colorado now.
Yeah. And whatever happened
Well,
to the,
my twin-
who was down there at Fort Gulick, the 6th
That was,
or the 8th?
8th.
It was
I
8th.
believe.
Yeah, the eighth was down in Panama, and they moved. My twin brother he was down in B-23, his first Bandon 8233, his first hitch, and he was Magvie Saga second, but he continued doing it. Fred and I talked a little about that, and he spent 7 years working special forces in Afghanistan with the agency, as a contractor, and. We went over to Normandy for the 75th anniversary a couple of years ago. And we were sitting and he speaks French, and we were sitting in a little restaurant in there, and the only other table, guys were talking, they're Americans, and they started talking about people we knew, mentioning names and talking about special forces. So finally we got up and walked over there and said, what's going on? It turns out it was this guy who had been commander of the 5th Special Forces Group in Afghanistan. And he had retired, and at the time he was advising, some people. And so he had won a Silver Star for being on horseback with an A-team up with Dostrom in the northern part. And so he was showing these pictures of him on the horses. And I mean, we were enjoying this. I even put him in the article I wrote for the Sentinel. And so he was talking to him and said, my brother said, well, I can trump that. And so he pulled out his camera, a picture that he took in 1966 down at Bandon, A233, of a Special Forces patrol leaving on elephants.
Yeah.
I got that picture. So here's this guy. He was riding cavalry with Dostrom, and here's my brother. Well, he's with Hannibal. I got those two pictures, and I put them in the story I wrote for the Sentinel, which is a Special Forces newsletter for the West Coast. Lonnie was the editor, and I wrote a thing about that. 75th
Is that the California?
Yeah, it was the
Okay, I
Southern
got that.
California. And I wrote a bunch of articles for him about Randall Knives, and my brother wrote something about the 109 the radio 109, the old 109. We wrote a bunch of articles for him.
I got a great story about the 109. When I joined the CIA and was taking communications training, and it got down to the point where we were learning how to use these things called offsite packages. They were going to teach me how to use a 109. And so a couple of the instructors, I said, well, you can do this and you can do that. And yeah, we used to put the lieutenants on the hand crank generators. And finally he had me started. He said, oh my God, Mike, you've used this thing way more than we have. I said, well, yeah, we used it a lot and stuff. And
my brother,
I know one of the biggest things, he said, well, you have to have 2 antennas and you can't transmit and reach. I said, no, here's how you do it. And then you can use both of them. Just throw this. It was like, holy shit. Well, I said, well, yeah, I had a couple of years with the 109. I know how it works.
My brother found one in the embassy in Pakistan, and he kept it. And he donated it to the CIA just a few years ago. It's sitting sitting down in their museum now.
Mm-hmm.
You guys that aren't commo, you don't know 109 was like a World War II era thing, and you had to have this generator.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what, that was something to crank.
I was on that generator cranking, and I said, well, what's the problem with this generator? I don't see any problem. Then they keyed up.
Keyed it up. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Sizemore used to write messages for me to send. He was before you, and he'd write these damn long tombs, and I would go through. I start striking words out, and he said, "Well, you're changing." I said, "I'm not changing the meaning. I'm just making the damn message short. You could usually get message down to about 2 sentences if you really tried. And he said, well, I don't think I like that. And I said, come over here and get on this generator. And now see how you want me to send a long message, you know? Anyway, he was a good guy.
Yep.
So we would take the officers' messages, and every and, but, and this would be cut out of it. It would be down to bare bones what had to be transmitted but anyway.
You commo guys, when you were at Doc Peck, were there 2 of you or just 1 of you?
Part of the time when I was there was 2 of us, but there was a period of a couple of months where I was the only one there.
Yeah, Mike, I think, and I overlapped.
Yeah.
When I got up there, I was the only guy when I first got up there. And then I think Mike came out. Then they sent me to Ben Hett, and a guy named Boyles, and he was an E7. He came up there.
Yeah.
And he had came over from the 8th. They were just starting to dip into, because they kind of kept the 8th by itself because they were doing work in South America. They were all Spanish speakers. And Boyles came over, and I had about 2 hours with him to kind of update him about Doc Peck and where everything was. And in the course of it, he told me he had been on the mission, the Che Guevara mission. And I said, oh man. So he started telling me some things about it. And I was always going to get back with him because he had some good stuff he was going to share with me, because I was kind of orienting him. He got killed. And so all his stories and all his knowledge disappeared, you know.
When I was there, we only had 1 commo guy. His name was Willie Moore. Willie Moore from Baltimore, and therefore he could never go on ops. And the whole time I was there, he was completely shacked up with old Hazel, and living down in one of them bunkers off that mortar pit. You know,
I thought Hazel was
he had the damn life there, man.
Yeah.
Don Williams was my combo sergeant when I was there.
Doc who?
What was his name?
Don Williams.
Don Williams. Yeah.
He was called Combo Willie.
Combo Willie. Yeah. I got a story about him. I got a story about Combo Willie. You guys who are not in the East, I've been dealing with yards for the last 12 years in North Carolina. And man, I love them. I've dealt with Coke Sore and all them damn dudes. And I'll be damned if somebody recognized me, a mountain yard recognized me as Doc Peck, and he came and said, my wife is half soldier. Was born at Doc Peck, is half soldier there. I said, what the hell are you talking about, half soldier? He wanted me to find his wife's father. I said, oh shit. Well, I knew about Steve Sherman, and I'll be damned if we weren't able to take some of Steve's records and track it down. And we got them hooked up. They're from Charlotte, and from what I heard, old Don Williams went down there and met him, had a grand time.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, well, he can thank me for finding his daughter.
I want to ask you a question about maybe the bravest guy I ever met at Doc Peck, next to Lee and some of you guys that had to go through that thing. He was a missionary, and his name was Cohen. Mike
Vietnamese?
Cohen. American.
Oh, no.
American. He wore sandals, and he was a missionary, and he spoke Jay, and he's translating the Bible into Jay.
Yeah.
And he was apostolizing to the Jay tribes guys, and the communists would leave him alone. I don't. He would go out there.
Dwight somebody. That
Cohen. His last name was Cohen.
Yeah.
Okay.
His
I'm
son
sure.
was there when I was there. His son came in to help him.
Yeah.
I just always wondered what happened to him, I just
I-
never knew.
I still remember that damn language. G-Jai, Lim Jai, Doc Look, Buck, knock, knock.
Well, I just had a guy, I was talking to them about the Rade and about the Jirai and all this thing. And the guy that attached himself as my protector, I thought he was walking behind me on the first mission to shoot me, but he was really protecting me. And he says, I don't know Jirai, I don't know Rade, I just know Jay.
Yeah.
Jay,
yeah.
I mean, what, 20,000 people,
Yep, I'm telling you.
they might be called Jay, I don't know. It's a
Yeah,
small group.
that medic
But that Cohen,
no was teaching me, Jay.
You had a medic there named Erickson. And there was a lady who came on the internet and she said that she had been born at Doc Peck. And she was 5 years old, she was wounded. And that the medic, whoever the medic was, patched her up. So I searched out and I found Erickson. I haven't been able to find him again. Excuse me for a minute. I got somebody up in the main room. I'll tell you a story later.
Yeah.
well, while he's not here, I'll tell you guys the story. I went over and I saw there was a gentleman in the plagiarism chat room. So I went into it and there was a reason. I don't know, Lonnie Holmes was he was like Southern California, Sentinel editor, head of the Special Forces Association. He quit being a medic and became.
Jim Phillips, hiding behind the mask.
Hey, can you hear me?
Mask to come to the room here.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Look, down at the bottom of the screen, in the black area, you will see a bunch of icons. Okay, over to the right, one of the icons, either breakout rooms or more.
Okay, hold on a minute. Let's see what I can get.
Well, oh, you're on an iPhone. It's on the top of the screen. Maybe the top left. Put your cursor up or whatever, finger up there, top left.
Yeah, got it.
Can you see breakout rooms?
Got it.
You got it? Let me see if I can move you by myself here.
All right. I got breakout rooms. Hold on.
Okay, 242.
I just pressed join.
Join, just go join. Okay. I'm gonna try to get you to join. Okay. Joe, did you learn anything?
Maybe. Let's see.
I'm trying to figure out how to get myself over to the breakout room right now.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. You know what the problem I think was is that I had a older version of Zoom. So that's probably what happened to the other guy. The latest version is 5.3 and it gave me an option to install 5.3. I did that and now I can see the breakout rooms.
All right, let's go to 242 because I'm trying to get there myself. That's where everybody is.
I can get in there.
Okay, go.
I'm going to tell him you're trying to get in there.
Yeah.